He said, when you look at the building, what you can see is a train leaving a railway tunnel. And if you look at the building very, very closely, you will see that it does look nothing like a train coming out of anywhere. God knows what a fella was on at the time when he made the statement. I think it looks like an old Wurlitzer jukebox myself. Do you remember the old American 60s jukebox? Now wave and smile to the people on the footbridge, try and keep them happy. So I've had a few incidences before, people spitting on the boat and throwing things down. So there is one on the other side. And these are called the Golden Jubilee. Country by the Egyptian government, and that was to celebrate Nelson's victory over Napoleon and the French fleet at the Battle of the River Nile. Now those needles they've always done in pairs, and the twin to that one is in Central Park, New York City. The black and white ship ahead of us, the Queen Mary, and that's the original Queen Mary, and she was built 2 years before the famous Cunard liner that stands in Long Beach, California. Now she was a day cruiser on the River Clyde up in Scotland. She's now a floating bar and restaurant ship. Now what she'd done, she sold her original name to the Cunard company. She was then called the Queen Mary II. Both boats are now out of commission. She's retaken her original name, the Queen. The Dome of St Paul's is the second largest unsupported cathedral dome anywhere in the world, second to St Peter's in the Vatican City of Rome. Now above the Dome of St Paul's there is a viewing cage, just above the dome. Normally you'd see people up there walking around. And the views, I'm told, are just as good as the London Eye. Now, there's only one problem. There's no lift. There's over 640 steps to climb before reaching the top. Now, they will charge you to visit St Paul's £10 to go inside St Paul's Cathedral, but on a Sunday morning, it's completely free. There will be a service tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, and it is then free to enter St Paul's power station, and it has been converted now into the Tate Modern of modern art. This is the largest art gallery anywhere in the world, and it is all free to go in, so it won't cost you a penny. And if you've ever seen modern art, you'll understand why. Now, some people, they tend to like it. There's things in there like an unmade bed, a pile of bricks, a burnt out car. You can also see that for free where I live. So if you like modern art, that's the place to go. Now that's what you call true art. Back there to your left, St Paul's Cathedral. It's a lovely view there with your cameras. And linking up the two buildings, a footbridge, designed by Norman Foster, the Blade of Light, but better known as the Wibbly Wobbly Bridge. On a Saturday afternoon in the millennium year, the bridge was opened by Her Majesty the Queen, and there was thousands of people trying to cross it. Now it was a little bit windy that day, and as so many people were crossing, it started to swing and sway. Now it became unsafe. They had to take everyone off. They had to close it for about a year just to re-strengthen it, to say the world famous Wibbly Wobbly Bridge. Over to the right, look between the trees, a timber-framed building with a thatched roof. And that's the replica to William Shakespeare's Globe Theatre. And that was brought back to London in 1997. Throughout the summer months, they reenact many of Shakespeare's famous plays. And in the winter months, there are guided tours. But as I said, it's got a thatched roof, and it is the only thatched roof allowed here in London since the Great Fire in 1666. You see, the reason the fire spread so quickly is because everything was built with timber and thatch. It was all banned after the Great Fire, and they had to pass an act of Parliament to acquire that roof. And just next door, there's the museum to Shakespeare, look, the Shakespeare Centre. Makes a nice day out. So watch your play, go to the museum. Flats and apartments to the right there, ladies and gentlemen, worth millions of pounds. These were the old working wharves and warehouses years ago. But between the buildings on our right, for the children especially, a pirate ship, the working replica to Sir Francis Drake's Golden Hind. Sir Francis Drake, the first Englishman to sail a ship around the world, and he did so in 1577 on a ship identical to that. It took Drake 3 years to go around the world, 3 years, eh? Could have done it in 3 months really, but he kept fetching up along the way, chatting to people, and then he'd rob them. So especially the Spanish, they robbed the Spanish of over £10 million worth of gold and silver. He was actually given a licence to go and rob people by Queen Elizabeth, and that's what he'd done. It was a legalised crime. It was a place of imprisonment torture and execution. Now just looking at the wall there to your left, you'll see the writing, entry to the Traders Gate, just beneath, just above the bricks of archway. Now many years ago, ladies and gentlemen, if you was found guilty of being a traitor to this country or to the royal family, you would have been rolled up through the archway to your left, taken up onto Tower Green, where you would then have your head chopped off with a large blunt axe. Now, as you know, a lot of famous people were taken through that archway, and just to name a few, Lady Jane Grey, William Wallace, Braveheart, or maybe better known to some of us as Mel Gibson. But it's been home to the Crown Jewels for many years, so you've got to get off here anyway, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure you want to go and have a look around the tower.